Today, we are breaking down one of the wildest roster stories of the 2025 NFL season. How in the world did the Cleveland Browns, a team that was absolutely stacked with young quarterback talent, end up handing the keys to a 40-year-old veteran? It is a fascinating story of strategy, bad luck, and sheer resilience.
So let's just tackle the big question head on, because this is what defines the Browns' entire preseason. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense on the surface, does it? You invest draft picks, you make trades, you bring in all this youth. But when all the dust settles, the oldest guy in the room is the one left holding the football? So let's unpack exactly how we got to this point.
You know, this whole saga really kicks off with just a massive setback before training camp even got going. The Browns got the news that their franchise guy, Deshaun Watson, was likely going to miss most, if not all, of the 2025 season with a really bad Achilles injury. And just like that, a team with serious playoff hopes had a giant gaping hole at the most important position in all of sports. So what do? Well, to solve that problem, the front office basically assembled a small army. The quarterback room was suddenly packed with 5 potential contenders. You had the veteran they re-signed, Joe Flacco, the guy they traded for, Kenny Pickett, a couple of draft picks in Dillon, Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, and another vet, Tyler Huntley. The stage was officially set for an absolute battle royale. But here's the thing. What everyone thought was going to be this epic competition of skill and who could throw the best ball, it turned into something completely different. It became a battle of attrition, a true last man standing situation where, honestly, the most valuable trait you could have was just being available to practice. And this created such a fascinating conflict in camp. On one side, you've got what we'll call the young guns. That's Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders, all representing mobility, potential, the future. And on the other side, you've got the one veteran, Joe Flacco, who represents experience, poise, and crucially, a proven track record in this exact system. And this is where the wheels just completely fell off for the young guys. It was like a domino effect. First, Pickett goes down with a hamstring issue in late July. Then, believe it or not, Gabriel gets sidelined with his own hamstring injury. And finally, Shedeur Sanders, who was actually looking pretty good, suffers an oblique strain. These injuries weren't just bad luck, they were a complete disaster for their chances, costing them all those critical reps they needed to win the job. And this quote from Cleveland.com just absolutely nails it. They said this was a war of attrition. At the end of the day, Flacco didn't just win the job on pure merit alone. He won it by simply being the only quarterback who stayed healthy and available through the whole preseason. His best ability was his availability. So let's talk about the guy who prevailed. This 18-year veteran, a guy a lot of people thought was pretty much done, didn't just survive the chaos, he emerged as the undisputed leader of this Cleveland offense. 40 years old. That is the age of the Cleveland Browns' Week 1 starting quarterback. To put that in perspective, the only starting QB in the entire league who's older is the one and only Aaron Rodgers. That is just an incredible testament to Flacco's longevity. And I mean, just look at this career roller coaster. He hits the absolute highest of highs, winning a Super Bowl MVP back in 2012. Then he goes into this journeyman phase, bouncing from team to team as a backup. But then out of nowhere comes that magical run in 2023 with the Browns, where he wins Comeback Player of the Year, which set the stage for this, his official return as a Week 1 starter. You couldn't write a better script. So, what is Flacco's role exactly? Well, it's perfectly defined. He is the classic bridge quarterback. His job isn't to be the guy for the next 10 years. His job is to stabilize the team and win games right now, while the Browns figure out their long-term plan with the young guys. He's the now, not necessarily the future. Okay, so when you name a guy like Flacco the starter, that decision doesn't just stop at the quarterback position. It sends ripples across the entire roster. So let's look at how this one big move affects the rest of the team. Well, the biggest beneficiaries are right here on offense. A traditional pocket passer like Flacco really elevates veteran playmakers. So you can expect a huge year for a security blanket Pro Bowl tight end Dave Njoku and for key receiver Jerry Jeudy. And maybe most importantly for that big veteran offensive line who knows their job is to keep their 40-year-old QB upright. And here's the best part for Flacco and the offense. They don't have to win games by themselves. A steady veteran quarterback is the absolute perfect partner for an elite top-tier defense, which is, of course, anchored by the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. So, with the QB chaos finally settled, let's zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture. This is the starting lineup the Browns are hoping can make a real playoff push in a very, very tough AFC. You can really see the theme on offense. It is built around veteran leadership. You've got Flacco in his 18th season, a Pro Bowler in David Njoku, and a powerful offensive line anchored by guys like Wyatt Teller. These are the steady, reliable pieces you put around a veteran quarterback to help him succeed. Now on defense, this is where it gets really fun. It's a fascinating mix of established superstars and fresh new blood. Of course, you have the best in the business, Myles Garrett, and a fantastic corner duo with Ward and Newsome. But look at this, they're also injecting a ton of youth, with rookies like Mason Graham and Carson Schwezinger expected to start in huge roles right away. So, what does this all mean for their season? Well, the formula for success in Cleveland seems crystal clear. Step 1, you lean heavily on that monster defense to keep every single game close. Step 2, you get smart, efficient, and most importantly, mistake-free football from your veteran QB. And step 3, you aim for a wild card spot, because let's be honest, winning the AFC North is going to be a dogfight. And that brings us to the final lingering question. The Browns have found their solution for this year. They have their bridge to get them through the 2025 season. But in one of the most brutal divisions in football, going up against guys like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, is a bridge really strong enough to carry this team all the way to the finish line? I guess we're all about to find out.